Normal probability plots. Many of the statistical methods we'll learn about and use later are only valid when the sample we have comes from a population that is approximately normal. Since we don't have the entire population, we will have to check whether our sample looks like it might come from a population that is close to normal. We could do this with a graphical display, for example, a histogram. We could check the 68, 95, 99.7 rule, which is tedious, or we can make a normal probability plot, also known as an NPP. And there's a yay there because this makes it much easier. The normal probability plots, ordered pairs, for each data point are the observation and the z-score. The z-scores are predicted. A substantially linear pattern to the normal probability plot suggests it is reasonable to believe your population came from a normal population. A nonlinear pattern suggests it is not reasonable to believe this. Below is a box plot of ages at death for 35 of an individual's predecessors. It's fairly symmetric. We would expect to see a fairly linear pattern to the normal probability plot. Below is a normal probability plot of these data from Minitab. Minitab also performs hypothesis tests. We're not going to use that this year. We'll use our calculators more so to do normal probability plots. The line forms an estimate of the cumulative distribution function, or ogive, assuming a normal population. And if you notice, that's pretty linear. So let's look at this one from our book. It's a histogram of calcium. And if you notice, if we placed a tablecloth over this, this would be skewed right. So, do we think the normal probability plot for these data would be fairly linear? And when we look at this, the normal probability plot does not have a linear pattern to it. So it is not reasonable to believe our sample comes from a normal population. Let's look at another problem in our book. It has annual mortality rates, and here's the histogram. If we look at this histogram and we place a tablecloth over it, it will look fairly normal, about normal. Here's the normal probability plot for these data. The normal probability plot is fairly straight, so it is reasonable to believe our sample comes from a normal population. If the distribution of the data is approximately normal, the normal probability plot is roughly a diagonal straight line. If the normal probability plot is not straight, make a histogram of the data to see how the data differ from approximately normal. Never ever say a distribution is normal. You always say it is approximately normal.